something fun. I want to explore, discuss, debate, and kind of come to conclusions as to our opinions on social media itself. So without wasting time, because I know that I don't want my voice to be on it all the time. I've got special guests, like I mentioned. So first of all, I'm going to start with Yahya and Sahar, and then inshallah move on to Malika as well. So just to brief introduction. I may not do justice, so you might have to cover me on that. Brother Yahya and sister Sahar, they have a YouTube channel. They're quite active on that. Alhamdulillah, 1.2 million subscribers. I'm a bit jealous of that. Okay, and they're quite active in Snapchat and Instagram as well. Yeah. And we've got sister Malika, who is a spoken word artist. So I'm going to direct some questions later on as well. So, first question on Crack On is social media really that bad? So let's hear from you guys first, the pros and the cons of that, please.
It depends. It really depends. So in my opinion, it's positive, but it can be negative at the same time. Positive in what aspect? So it's a type of entertainment. It's a type to get messages to the youth.
To be honest, in my opinion, it depends about how person use it. Like, he can use it in a positive way or he can use it in a negative way. There's a lot of advantages and a lot of disadvantages, but for me, I use it as a platform where I can perform and show something I love to do, which is acting, vlogging, and stuff I like to do.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so firstly, you know what? I jumped into question number 2. So apologies for that. Question number 1 is, I may have not done justice to what you guys actually do. So just give a couple of minutes introduction as to what you actually do in regards to social media. What part do you play? What are you involved in?
Okay. Do you want to start?
Yeah. So I'll go into basics. Basically, we do vlogs. So what we do as Arab YouTubers, we're living in the West. We do pranks on each other sometimes. We do challenges on each other. And sometimes if something's really happening or something we want people to be aware of, we'll use our voice to show that.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Okay, great. So you got alhamdulillah, you got a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And how else are you active? Use Instagram?
Yeah, I'm a bit active on Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat.
Okay.
So I bring my followers, I call them my family on YouTube. So I bring them to my life and I tell them that I use Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, if they want to know more about me, if I want to be closer to them. So we kind of interact on these platforms.
Okay, great. So Sahar, I'm going to pick on you on that because you just mentioned a minute ago or a few seconds ago, you call them your family. But I want to leave the listeners and the people at home in suspense. So I'm going to come back to you in a minute on that. Sister Malika, you're a spoken word artist. Tell me a bit about yourself.
So I've always written poetry from a very young age. And then I happened to kind of get into some performances unintentionally, meaning I wasn't really looking for them. They were kind of suggested. And then I just grew a love for actually performing poetry, and then I discovered the genre of spoken word. I think it's still relatively new. I don't think that many people are familiar with it, but I do think it's emerging. I just like the ability of connecting with the audience with spoken word. I think when you are creating pieces, you take into account the fact that you are in control of the way they are delivered. You know, it's not just relying on the way words are written on the page. But equally, that's actually led me to start up a YouTube channel. I want to share my work, and I've also started, because I am very passionate about mental health, having had those struggles myself, starting a video journal of my experiences, the things that I've found help me, the struggles I face, especially as a Muslim woman, because we are so misrepresented, especially on social media.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. You know what? Sometimes 1 hour cannot do justice on social media itself. It's such a big topic, and maybe I've missed something out. So if callers have any questions, comments, please do call in. Studio telephone number is 01733 602 133, or you can text on WhatsApp 07745 278 978. Or if you're still an email person, give us an email, info@salamradio.co.uk. So I'm going to pick a couple of points, especially Sahar, with what you said.
Yeah.
And Sister Malika, what you said, yeah, I haven't forgotten you. You're gonna come in. Don't worry. I'm not gonna leave you out. So, Sahar, you mentioned. So, Malika, you mentioned about your connection to the community. Okay, and the women not being represented. That's a big statement in a sense that big influence. We were talking about Mona Haider. Yeah, just before we go on, but I want to leave that to just a second. I want to come back to Sahar. So, like I said in the beginning of the show, let's be realistic. A lot of people, youths, non-youths, they like to go on social media, which is fine. Okay, let's not criticize it too much. It's a point of interest. They're doing things within the boundary. They're not harming anyone. Something that we all enjoy, and that's not a bad thing. They gain from it. They benefit from many things. But just your connection with the viewers, the subscribers, everyone around the world. Now, alhamdulillah, we're in a small city of Peterborough, okay? But your videos are going worldwide. Imagine the difference that you're making, the influence you're playing. And we're going to talk about influence later on in the show, inshallah. But one thing I noticed, you mentioned family.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. What do you mean by family?
Okay. I love to call my subscribers as my family, because the family can get bigger and bigger every day, and I think my YouTube channel is getting bigger and bigger, and I prefer calling them as a family because they are with me from the time I started YouTube till now. So they are following me, they take care of me. For example, I did an operation, they were really worried about me.
Wow.
I felt, I live here in England from about a year and 8 months, and they didn't make me feel, to be honest, that I'm abroad. They are next to me in every step I take and make, even in my sadness, in my happiness, in everything. And today I want to tell them thank you for every single thing that you guys, my family on YouTube, did for me.
Wow, that is amazing.
Yeah.
Honestly, that is so nice. I didn't know that, by the way, before. We haven't talked much about it, but that was really nice, because you do feel when you're coming from abroad, you're coming from another country, you're coming through UK, and you do feel, you need that support. And amazing how, alhamdulillah, how these things have developed, social media, we're so advanced in that you felt support from the fans. You call them your family. That's a big statement,
Yeah.
and you have that connection with them and that appreciation. So that's something that we can take as a lesson. So those parents who have got children who like to go on social media, go and see what they're doing. A lot of parents may say, oh, my child's on social media. What are they doing? Maybe they're one of the children, one of the youths who's actually giving you support.
Yeah.
That's amazing to hear.
100%.
So, alhamdulillah, that's really good. We're going to go to Malika now. You mentioned your connection with the community, and you mentioned some big words in there. Mental health. I think some people are a bit scared of that, mental health.
They are.
So, we don't sometimes really... This is obviously... we can obviously touch upon mental health maybe on another show, inshallah. But you did mention about connecting to people. So talking about your own experience and putting that in spoken word. Spoken word is big out there at the moment. It's such an art within it, because sometimes when I'm watching spoken word poetry, I'm like, oh, I wish I could do that, man.
You can, why not?
But it's an art. Honestly, it's an art, and sometimes people don't realize that youth or non-youth, they have an interest in something. Push them in doing that. They're doing a really good job. They're spreading out big messages out there. And trust me, it's affecting people. We can even talk, on a larger scale. But I want to pinpoint to you on that, just personally. I know I caught you off the hook, but how can you elaborate more? Like, what connection are you trying to bring to the community with, giving your own experience? Because that's a big thing, What's your aim?
That's a very broad question, only because I feel I have a few. Firstly, with the mental health side of things, the reason why I decided to do the vlog was because, connected to the question you had about, in having representation, I don't know any Muslim woman who's talking about her journey through mental health. We don't have that figure, we don't have that role model, we don't have that kind of person to set the example of, I admit I'm struggling through this, and this is, where it led me and what happened. Because it is hard, and we are starting to talk about it and recognizing it as such a big issue. But I think we still have like these tucked away communities that are still afraid and apprehensive about, you know, having these conversations. So my aim with the vlog is to encourage those conversations and to normalize, you know, this thing, because the point is it happens in behind a lot of closed doors, and the idea is to take it away from that. With the spoken word, as I said, you know, it started off as a passion, but I think growing up and, you know, seeing what I saw amongst my peers, I can see that we've got this almost a very strong lack of morality, and it troubles me. It doesn't sit with me, and I don't mean to sound like, you know, an old woman here, but it makes me sad that young people are being so absorbed in a lot of activities without thinking about the repercussions or reflecting on the effects that it has on themselves. So with my spoken word, I'm trying to engage with young people and get them to be mindful about their actions and consider the consequences of their choices and what they surround themselves in.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. I got a bit distracted. We've got a question on Facebook, and Sahar, it looks like you've got some fans. I don't know if you can see it. Maybe you can see it as well. We've got some people saying hi to you, so if you can all just give a wave to
Hello.
the Facebook Live followers.
Hello, Allah.
Thank you. So we've got a question actually, very interesting. We have got the question which I'm going to pose to both yourself, Yahya and Sahar, and Malik as well. How much social media is too much? The sister's asking, do your guests have connections and have the ability to communicate and help with followers? Wow. So first of all, I'm going to pose to Yahya. I want to bring you in over here, man. Come on, bro.
I've been really quiet.
I'm going to bring you in. So obviously, I mean, go ahead. You guys can talk over each other, and you're a couple as well. So
yeah, no, we're used to this.
Yeah, mashallah. So both of you, first question is, how much social media is too much? That's a really interesting question.
It depends. It all depends what they're watching, when they're watching it, what they've got in their lives, how much exams they have, if it's work. It all depends on the person. So this is where, depending on the age group, that's where the parents get involved. And I think it's very, very, very important, if your child is watching social media or using social media, that the parents are aware of what's happening too. So what they are watching and what they're not watching. And would you think there's a certain time, Sahar?
To be honest, even for us sometimes.
Yeah.
Like if we are vlogging and doing something, even when we post a video on YouTube, for example, and after that, I block everything. Like I post it, I communicate with my family, and after that I close my phone and I will be like enough for today, because if you give it a lot of your time,
it'll take over.
It'll
definitely take over.
So as we say, that the limit of everything, like to do balance for it.
It's like
this
food.
is the most important thing.
Everything in good portion is okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you take it over the top, then it will affect. And in life, it's just a general rule.
And do you guys find that, you know, when you're posting things and promoting it, you don't realize how much time gets taken up in doing all of that, especially when you're creating all these like flyers and you're putting up on every single social media. An hour or 2 hours easily passes and you don't realize it. So I totally respect that. Once you posted it, close it off. That's enough.
Because it can really ruin your life if you think, no, I don't know, I'm going to think about the views. I want to think about how, because there's a lot of YouTubers, they care a lot about the views, about the likes, about everything. So if you keep focusing on stuff like that, you'll be really, really stressed out.
Wow, excellent.
It's
Thank you.
Control.
Yes, exactly. But you touched upon the word I was going to say, balance. Balance. It's hard sometimes though, because you can get carried away. Sometimes, you know, when I'm about to sleep at night, I'm just catch onto a couple of videos and I just, let me watch one more video. It's relaxing, you know. It's a de-stressor as well. But just going back to Malika, just to get you involved over here, what do you think? How much is too much on social media?
I echo what was said about it depends on who you are, and what the content that you are surrounding yourself with and what you use it for. Because I think, you know, this is what I try to encourage, be reflective about what it is that you are doing. So, you know, if you're mindlessly scrolling and you know you're not gaining anything or using it in order to grow yourself, then perhaps, you know, it's important to reflect on how much time you want to give yourself doing that. I mean, again, even it's hard because like me, I use YouTube not just for entertainment but for actually learning, you know, when I'm trying to gain information or trying to even gain perspectives or even for news, because these platforms are used so widely. it's almost like you can use them for anything and everything. I think as long as you're not disconnecting yourself from the people you're physically around, and like it was said, the balance thing, then it's okay. But you have to take responsibility and ownership of that. No one can kind of say to you, it's not always about 2 hours or 3 hours, it's about how you're using it.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, how you're using it. And you know, I was talking to my wife the other day, and I said, you know, I want to put this example on the radio as well. It's like water. Yeah, water can save a life, right? But too much water can also drown you as well, right? Imagine the floods, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So the balance, yeah. That's a small example,
Yeah, 100%.
but I just found it as, you know, fire.
Yeah.
Too much of it can kill you. A little bit of it can keep you warm. So alhamdulillah. So just going back to mixing around a bit. So the purpose of your one of the first, Yahya and Sahar, the purpose, what's your objective, if you don't mind me asking, behind this?
Okay, so me and Sahar originally come from Lebanon, and around Lebanon, it's not just Lebanon, in general, the Arab countries have a lot of conflict and war, and every time you open anything on the news, it's about killing, about bombing happening, about political parties fighting, everything you could imagine. It's a third world country at the end of the day, full of poverty, full of people being upset and all of that. So for us, the way we see it is taking 60 minutes, 20 minutes sometimes, 10 minutes sometimes, about 3 to 4 times a week of just entertainment, just making things laugh. And all the comments that we get, most of the comments we get, is they're proud to be a member of our family, and it's a positivity. They say every time we watch it, we feel that positive energy. We feel that just the happiness.
You made my day, for example.
Yeah, we've had the comments we've read where we've nearly cried sometimes about people having like worst case scenarios at home, and they're like, when I look at you, it just makes me feel better and all of that, and that's what keeps us going a bit.
That's amazing. You really touch people's lives though, yeah? I mean, even by doing something like even a prank, by speaking, you're making people laugh, and I'll tell you what, laughing is a therapy. You need to laugh. Honestly, you need to smile, you need to laugh. Life is too short. So when I sometimes watch prank videos, it really lightens up my day. You know what I mean? Life is just about stresses and pressures. You get pressure at work, you got targets, you get pressures at home, all right? You get pressure in society. That's a whole new topic in itself, right? Peer pressure, societal pressure. And to be honest, you know what? I'm going to get Malika in just a moment. I haven't forgotten you there, don't worry. So I want to drag you in a moment. But sometimes it's difficult because I think that you guys are humans as well. We're all humans. But sometimes you get this negative feedback, right? Or negativity from that.
100%. You're going to get haters no matter
what you do. You can't ever.
But the way we deal with it is... We don't really deal with it. We don't really deal with it.
It gets covered up by the other reviewers because you got about
because
1 or 2 million.
But we always tell them, and we'll say it again on this platform, that if you do see a bad comment, ignore it, and it's not from our akhlaq to reply to anyone. We always say our family, we don't look at it in that way. So people are going to have their own opinions. People, it's their freedom. They say whatever they want, and just ignore them. So we always tell our family not to really take into consideration.
Mashallah, that's great. That's excellent. And Malika, what about you?
I agree. I think you have to really disconnect yourself from the negativity, and it's going to happen. It's inevitable. But I think for me, and I'm guessing you guys agree, you have to remember that it's their issue. Like, you leave it with them. You have your intentions. You know what you're doing on this platform. You know why you're doing it, and you just have to focus on the people who receive that and appreciate that. It's like when I posted the video, and I haven't done that much of the mental health vlog yet. But when I first posted the video of what I'm going to do, within minutes I received backlash on, are you sure you want to do this? Do you know what people are going to say might talk about you, etc., etc. For me, it really enhanced the need for it, because again, it showed that fear was still there about talking about these things. So in that sense, it kind of fueled me actually doing it and encouraged me even more, because I felt like this is why I am doing it, for these opinions and these worries and fears. But you have to take it in your stride. You have to.
That's excellent. Exactly. But I mean, alhamdulillah, I hats off to you three, because I myself, I'm not active on social media myself. I don't have a keen interest, but you guys have put so much effort, and you've all got the same objective, which is reaching out to others.
Alhamdulillah.
That's a sense of worship, you know that. influencing others. It's such a massive thing. You've got, when you
But
can
you
reach
have to
out.
be careful too.
Yeah,
It's a big responsibility.
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, you have to be careful what you say. You've got young people watching. Lots of things need to be taken into consideration.
Definitely. Elaborate a bit more on that. In what sense?
In consideration. So, I am shooting, for instance. So some people are in countries where Islamic countries, from Saudi Arabia or from Iran. So there's things that they can't really see, and we have to be careful of what we shoot. We're speaking to a younger audience, the things that we speak to them. There's things that are happening here that haven't happened back home yet. So we have to be careful on what we show, just so we don't so we don't disrupt what they've been taught at home.
Yeah.
So we're very, very, very careful that we don't step. We make sure that we're always things that they'll be able to accept and understand.
Okay, excellent. And so, just out of curiosity, how much time are you talking about to upload one video?
To upload one video. Okay, if we're vlogging something, usually it takes 1 day shooting, for example, and then after that we do the editing. It takes between 3-4 hours, depending on how long is the video. And uploading the video on YouTube, it takes about an hour.
An hour, yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a lot of editing to do, or?
Depends what
on
type
my
of
mood.
video. Yeah, it depends on her mood.
Yeah.
It depends on
if I want to do good editing, like it's gonna take 7 hours. If I just want to do editing so fast, it takes 3 hours. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, it is time consuming.
Yeah.
And the idea is thinking of ideas, because if you're doing it in such a regular basis, then you have to think of new ideas, things that nobody's done before, and staying unique.
Yeah. Micah, just before I go to you on that, for those who are listening, please tune in. We are live on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook Live as well. Please tune in on this lovely subject with these lovely guests that have come in as well. Just before we go on break, Malika, I just want to bring you in. How about yourself? I mean, if you post a video, what time scale are we looking at?
I'm gonna need to sit down with these guys after the show because
I'm gonna do networking between you guys.
Yeah, I need some tips on this editing and filming thing, because I was worried when I did my first video. I remember how long it took me to shoot 10 minutes worth. I think it took me about 3 hours because I just kept, because the subject is so sensitive, and again, you realize you have a responsibility here. I was being really careful about how I was saying it, but at the same time you don't want it to be forced and rehearsed. So there's a lot of things to balance, and editing that. I had like I said, 2-3 hours worth of footage, and I only needed like 10 minutes. But it took a couple of hours to get it where I wanted it to be. But I guess if you're more experienced like you guys, it won't take that long, and I hope not, because I'm thinking about future videos.
We're ready to help you for anything, for any tip. Like,
That's so nice.
you're always welcome.
But there is, I don't know if you guys felt like this when you guys started, but there is a lot to think about, and it can be a bit scary because you are aware and conscious that there could be anyone and everyone listening to this, and you want to make it appropriate and you want to make it suitable, those kinds of things.
Yeah, okay, excellent. So, a pat on the back for myself to introduce you guys to each other. Yeah, take a bit of credit for that.
Oh, well done.
So, thank you so much. Time flies, yeah? Time flies when you're having fun. Such a lovely subject. So, we're going to go on a break.
Okay.
We are back after the short break. Please do tune in, and don't forget, if you want to call in, give your comments, questions. I can see a lot of comments. I'm just trying to look at the
In Arabic.
Facebook. Yeah, seeing a lot of that. But join us, all of you at home. Stay tuned, and inshallah, see you after the break. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Stay tuned to Salaam Radio after this short ad break.
It doesn't take much to bring some difference. You give some change, which makes a change. Because nothing gets mileage like a charity. Just a little change turns into a chain. And before we know it, the results are massive. So give a little to make a big difference. For donations, call now. UKIM 0207 387 2157.
दोस्ता कियां परेशान है
यार कर ना सारा सौदा मुक्या वा मुल्का विच पैसे भेजने
हूं नहीं अमार फूड वाले की फोन खड़का ते फ्री लोकल डिलीवरी कार मंगवा
आलाता उथे कै स्पेशल आ
उना की लबाई हाइजीन च ग्रेड 5 चीज़ां चंगियां म्यारी ते सस्तियां ते नाले ऑफर ही ऑफर
और क्या
ताज़ा गोश्त ताज़ी सब्जियां ते फ्रूट आटा चावल दालां मसाले ते जूस सारे बिल जमा करने गैस ते इलेक्ट्रिक नो टॉप अप भी करने पाकिस्तान पैसे बिल्कुल फ्री भेजने मतलब के एक चिड़ी ने दूध छड़ी ते हर शय लबनी
और जने ने आप उतरा
Amar Food Store and Halal Meat 613B Lincoln Road Peterborough telephone 01733 687374.
My name is Khalid Siddiq.
I'm Saif Adam.
Salaam alaikum, this is Baraka Blue.
Yo, this is your boy Harris J, and make sure you guys stay tuned to Salaam Radio 106.2 FM.
Salaam Radio, in conjunction with the Council of British Hajis, presents a Hajj seminar Sunday the 21st of July from 1 p.m. at the Allama Iqbal Centre, 157 Cromwell Road, PE1 2EL. Multimedia guide presented in English by Sheikh Suleiman Ghani and Abdul Akbar. Learn how to perform Umrah and Hajj. Practical guide. Interactive Q&A. Health and safety advice. Hajj travel shop. To book your tickets, visit cbhuk.org/events or call 0845 833 4145. Hajj Seminar, Sunday the 21st of July from 1 p.m. at the Allama Iqbal Centre, 157 Cromwell Road, PE1 2EL.
Do you own a restaurant or takeaway? Cater Fair is an expert supplier of new and used commercial catering equipment. Visit caterfair.co.uk for quality equipment on sale at the lowest prices, or call us on 01733 310 115 or visit us at 11 Royce Road, Fengate, Peterborough.
Gems and jewels. Wise sayings, interesting events, and moral lessons from Islamic history. The Uthmani ruler and the old woman.
It has been related that an old woman entered the hall of the ruler Suleiman al-Qanuni, complaining to him about his army that stole her livestock while she was sleeping in her house. The ruler said to her reproachfully, "You should have stayed up and taken care of your livestock." She glared at him and quickly responded, "I thought that you were awake, watching over us, my leader, and so I slept with a peaceful mind." The ruler said, "The truth is with you."
They say,
broadcasting 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. This is Salaam Radio.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to the second part of the show on the real me, social media, and its effect on youth and society. So, thank you for joining us again. Just one thing I wanted to, before we actually carry on, I wanted to pose parents or anyone listening out there who have any questions or comments about if they are concerned about their children and their use of social media. So please do call in if you leave a comment or you leave a question. Studio line is 01733 602 133 or text and WhatsApp on 07745 278 978. We've got a question on WhatsApp which I want to pose to my three lovely guests over here. So one of the sisters have texted in and said it would be a great help it would help a great deal to control how Muslims use social media. So as all of you have got a part in this, what would you say which kind of connects to my next question about our influence of what you guys have around the world.
As in, have someone to control what we do and what content we do?
Yeah, the content, yeah. So what would you say? Because alhamdulillah, you guys are going about doing pranks and something in those lines. What would you say is a control on Muslims who are maybe giving out the wrong messages? Or
to be honest, it's the internet right now, so there's nothing you could really do, and no matter how many committees you gather and try to control it, it'll be very, very, very difficult to try to control it. So you're still going to get people, anyone could go onto the internet. So the way forward, as in controlling, it comes back to every person.
Like you said
before, it takes you 2 seconds to open a YouTube page and then post whatever you want.
But you know what you said before, which is quite important, that you said we have a responsibility. That's a big thing,
everybody
because
has
you guys, alhamdulillah, with the subscribers you've got, the views that you're getting, alhamdulillah, with the views that Malika's got as well, making a start on that, it's a big responsibility, definitely, and it's a matter of influence. So what would you say to Muslims out there to realize that responsibility? What is the bigger picture? What are we looking at? Why are we doing this? What would you refer it back to? The source.
One line. Whatever you upload, make sure that you want your mum to see it. Literally.
Okay.
I think it's interesting. This is the word control that stood out to me, because I don't think you can ever gain control over something so vast and something so broad. And I think what the most effective thing to do is encourage and inspire coming back to intentions, because I think if you have the right intentions, and as Muslims we are always taught the importance of intention, because that's what Allah will judge us on. If it comes back to that, inshallah, nothing can go wrong, because there's always the scope of misinterpretation and people having different views, and you can't avoid that. But again, as long as your intentions are on the right path, then I think inshallah there's no reason to worry.
Yeah. What do you think, Sahar?
Well, I agree on what Yahya said at the beginning. That I think maybe they can control their kid in a way that they should know what he's watching, what he's doing on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, because as we can see now, we can't control internet. We can't control it, but we can see what our kids are doing on the internet.
But let's be realistic, because I don't want to tire out the show name, The Real Me, whatever called it, The Real Me. Let's be realistic about stuff, okay? It's important on how we connect to other people, okay, with the interests and youth as well, okay? So, I don't want this to be a typical show, pros and cons about social media. We know that the young children are tuning in, right? It's the same as drugs, okay? You know that people are doing it. Come on, man. Who are we fooling at the end of the day? Music. A lot of people listen to it, okay? See, if children are doing it, you might notice you can't brush things underneath the rug, right? All the time. Think about it. Why is it a problem? We're not fighting against things. We're not facing things to... Let's look at realistically. This is a lesson for siblings and parents as well. That when children are tuning into things, keep an eye. Why do you, there must be, Allah has in the Quran verses that we have to keep us under control. Why do we have a law? To keep us under control, right? So He's firm with us where He needs to be. He's merciful where He needs to be. And that's the biggest example that we use. So we have to face the fact that youth are sometimes glued onto social media. And alhamdulillah, Yahya, you gave the advice before to keep a balance. That's all it is. It shouldn't affect your work, shouldn't affect your studies, okay? If you have an interest, you have to learn to control yourself and kind of keep hold of that, right? You can't just go over the top, because then to my next question I'm going to pose in a moment, but this is according to one of the people from back home, listening from home, and they've made a comment. They said that I won't let my kids use social media until they are 16. Their devices are restricted on an amount of time per day, maximum 2 hours. So they've written, addiction to social media and internet is as bad as addiction to class A drugs. This is what I wanted to bring in. So our mentality, our mindset of social media, right? Okay. So like I said, when I was listening to a show before, when I heard about social media, so many negatives and everything like that. Okay. Face the facts. People love social media. They're making videos of themselves, right? Even young kids, they want to do that. Make it into a project. Yeah, take the positives into it. Okay, not everything is bad, right? I mean, you guys, alhamdulillah, you're catering for an audience. You're doing pranks, and there's obviously, there's a very wide range of things you're doing. Sister Malika's got the spoken word, influencing people out the word. People have different interests, right? I think it's important. Parents need to realize that their children can learn something from that. That's why it's important for them to sit down. But I'm going to lead on to my second question. Sometimes you notice, and I don't want this to go against you, inshallah you get, both of you, Malika and Yahya and Sahar, inshallah you get more followers and more subscribers as well, more views inshallah as well. But sometimes I find personally that my interaction maybe with my parents, with my siblings, sometimes I choose to unwind, sit down. I want to watch something on YouTube. I want to go on Instagram, Facebook. But sometimes I find that when I'm choosing that time, coincidentally, my parents maybe, my family members, my friends, my siblings, they want to talk to me. I don't want to neglect them. Sometimes I do, and I think other people do. When you're sitting around with a group of friends, first thing, their eyes are glued on their phones, which is fair enough. But what do you guys think about touching on that balance?
It's like we said again, it's all back to balance.
Yeah.
So we use social media. We're out there a lot, but we have, when it's time to eat, we're not allowed to have phones on the table. If we're going out, we only use our phones for emergency. And it's the same advice I give to anyone. So it's about giving them time. So it's like a kid playing PlayStation, or a kid playing, what's it called? It's about knowing when it's time for family time, and when it's. I disagree with the comment. I won't let them touch it till it's 16 years old and all of that. I think that's a bit too extreme, because they're going to do it at school. You live in the West. You can't get rid of social media from anyone underneath 16-year-old. It's about being next to them when they go on social media. And there's so many things you could benefit on social media. You could if I've got a problem with my car, the first thing I'll do is go on YouTube and see how I could fix it. So I wouldn't.
Malika, before I bring you in, and Sister Sahar as well, because I can see you got a lot of people on Facebook writing comments. So I want to hear your voice a bit as well. I heard one of the scholars 2-3 years ago saying at the mosque a motto that I've just exhausted with my friends and family: work smart, not hard. I love that.
I know as a scholar.
And what advice would you give to parents in working smart, not hard? Because sometimes maybe they're working hard in trying to get them. Okay, fair enough. Let's say, for example, some parents do want to keep at age 16. If the children listen, all well and good. Every family is different. Every scenario is different. Okay, every household upbringing is different. Okay, but at the end of the day, like you mentioned, your children's friends are involved in it. Peer pressure, they want to get hold of it. What kind of strategy would you give for parents to use on their children to keep a control? But also remember that parenting, it's something that, because social media is such a big thing now, young children want to go on it, youth want to go on it, to build that connection and how to handle situations like that. They have to have a strategy. What would you say?
I want to add one more point on that, because our generation is different than our families' generation, and my kids are gonna be in a different generation than mine. I remember my mom used to watch TV. She used to be on a series for 3 hours. Now I think my son, or for me, for example, I will be holding social media, searching, speaking with my friends, etc. So I think our generation is a bit different from our family's generation. So the balance is something very important, and I think the best thing ever is to communicate, like to give your kids the space. You want to go on YouTube? You have, for example, 2 hours, because once you neglect or you tell them don't do that, they will do it at school, or they will do it with their friends on their iPads. So I think balance and communicating and give them advice on how to deal with social media is the best way.
Okay. Thank you so much for
Communication, I think, was the key point.
Yeah.
Understanding what they're watching, so then
Exactly.
maybe have discussions about it.
Yeah.
I think just being a friend more than.
I really
Ah,
support that
thank you.
point. I think that's the most important thing with any subject, you know, especially social media, because I think because of this friction, because like you said, there's such a generational difference, there's this natural friction of, I don't know if it's fear or just, you know, worry. Parents almost give off this like, you know, you can't come to me about social media stuff because I'm saying that's bad, and you know, children think, okay, I can't tell my mom about this because, you know, she'll go on at me, etc. But it's about keeping that open channel, and actually, yeah, you know, give them, you know, the time and say, you know, give them the space, but also encourage conversations about what they're seeing on social media. Maybe as a parent, talking about your experiences or your point of view on social media. And again, coming back to it's encouraging that conversation and keeping that channel open, because I think as soon as you create this like divide of, you know, I can't speak to my mum about that because she's not interested, or you know, she thinks it's bad, then it's an opportunity for maybe the more negative things to start happening. And especially when it comes to things like isolation, I think that's again another opportunity for the growth of negative behaviors on social media.
So when you do spoken word poetry, how do you find that social media has been a helping hand to you in this case?
I think networking is the biggest thing for me, because it's allowed me to reach out to other people who are experiencing the same things that I express through my work, through my posts, and also opportunities. That's one thing when we're talking about pros and cons. I think social media is full of opportunities if you use them, and if you know, channel what you expose yourself to be of benefit to you. So for me, yeah, networking and reaching out to different people, definitely.
Okay, thank you. So I've got a comment on WhatsApp, which is really important, I think, and that is, kids need to learn to socialize and communicate face to face. What's your thoughts on that?
So I was the 90s kids.
Yeah.
So it was literally putting 2 bottles and playing football with that. So we all used to do that. Generations have changed.
They can open a video call and be face to face.
Yeah, literally. It's literally. It's funny, but it's the truth.
But we were talking just before the show. We were talking about your latest video that I saw. You guys were in the park.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you went to the small fun fair, right?
True. And if we do any gatherings, so if we were going to meet our family, we never do it in a restaurant. We always do it in an open space, and we always have activities and things to do.
Yeah.
But they're going to watch it. It's again, it comes back to the parents. Put them in activities. Put them in things to do.
Yeah.
Tell them to do. But a child, if he's seeing all his friends doing that, it's a massive problem. So it's really hard to deal with. Yeah.
He said something very important. Like, if you don't want your kid to spend a lot of time on social media, you can let him go to do football activity, the gym, etc. A lot of things. Maybe because he has a lot of spare time, like doing nothing. Of course, he will open the TV or open the social media. He's gonna hold the phone, and you will be looking on YouTube. Maybe as one of the things that you can solve the problem of social media, like to let them interfere more in the society and communicate more.
Have you noticed that some parents, when they take the children out, or when they go to the mosque especially, stick the phone to them, you know? And a lot of kids are so clever, right? They know how to get from A to B, right? What's your thoughts on that?
It's like this the road that me and Sahar have.
But we don't want to criticize it, because I'm not saying you are, me, because my sister has children, okay? And I want to relate to that because it's difficult, and I can't criticize parents like that, because sometimes it's so easy to just give them the phone, even while it's eating. They want to watch something, right? Which is fine, but then exposing so much of YouTube, and they are learning a lot. They're learning a lot, okay? Going on to the waves that come out and the radiation that comes out of phones, that can be a downside of it. But come on, there's everything. All the waves are coming from everything.
Yeah.
But what was your input? Because I want to just quickly get Malika in, and then I want to come to you, to Sahar and Yahya. What would you say to parents understanding their point of view about children, and giving the mobile phone to them, especially because it is difficult. Bear in mind. But what's your opinion on that?
So when you say giving them phones, are you talking about their concerns around the use of mobile devices and anything which emits waves?
Yeah.
I'm no expert, but I have done a lot of reading around, the effects of screens and mental health, and research shows that the blue light that's emitted from screens does, stimulate the brain. When it comes to things like sleep, it's disruptive, and again, I'm no expert, but it does seem a wonder if there is a correlation between, the fact that we are increasing our use of mobile devices, not just social media, but just generally being on, screens, and mental health issues. So whether biologically there is a connection there, I don't know. But I do think, again, coming back to that magic word balance, you have to be mindful about, what you're doing. And that goes for parents and children, because I think it's fair to say that it's easy as well for parents, when a child is being tantrumy or, they want some peace. It's easy to say, all right, go on and watch TV, that kind of thing. So it's about taking responsibility, of yourself as well as your children. And again, children don't do what you tell them, they do what they see. So being that example and showing them that, there's more to life than screens.
Yeah. What's your take on that, Yahya and Sahar?
I don't know. So the way I was brought up, it was like, so we didn't have phones weren't as common them days, so it was mainly PlayStation my mom had a problem with. So it was just under control, and I knew when it was time to play and when it wasn't time to play. But like you said, generations have changed.
Yeah.
So
but one thing I want to just note in, sorry for interrupting, like I mentioned before, when I was watching yourself and Sahar's video, like I said, you guys were in the park. Right, you were out in open space, and I think you went to a restaurant as well, didn't you? That's quite nice as a couple to go to a restaurant. Yeah, you went out, you were socializing with each other, but the only thing is that you were showing viewers what your day was like, which was really nice. You were actually coming out the house, so it's not restricted to the house. So you were being social, right?
True.
And also when it comes to yourself, Malika, when you take part in spoken word poetry, you're going to events, right? So I think it's important for all you guys back at home to realize that even though my lovely three guests, I've got such a big part in social media, they are actually going out, they are communicating with people. I know that you guys, I think you had one of the videos where you had the owl on your on your hand. I was like, I don't know how you done it, I don't know if I would keep but it's really nice. But you just see that it's important for me as a viewer to look at it as to go and explore places. I mean, I don't know, mashallah, you guys are going to different places. Let's see, and then I have a craving, it gives me ideas. It's really nice, to actually go and visit those places, give me ideas to go out with my missus and, treat her to dinner, go out with go to a theme park or the park, and it's really nice, to put that. And you guys obviously put the fun side of it, put challenges. And at the same time to yourself, Malika, when you're doing the actual spoken word poetry, you're going to events, right? And I saw one of the videos that you posted, and you were at an event, and I thought, mashallah, you are representing Muslim women in that, and expressing your views, your opinions, and I think both of you, Sahar and Malika, hats off to you both, that you are actually taking a part and you're influencing viewers around the world, not only within UK as well. So moving back to one of my burning questions, but before I do that, I just want to pop in one thing. It is sad to see. I don't like to concentrate on negativity too much, or there's always going to be that as well. But it's quite sad to see that sometimes our mindset of the community and society is that they're quite judgmental, right? How we look, what we actually portray ourselves at. It's not really, to be honest, I think people have to have a softer side to that. They have to look at intention. And I think that's really, really important. Why people are doing things, not only yourselves, but other people on social media as well. Why do they do this? We were talking about Mona Hader, right? She's obviously giving a message out there. Quite talented in her, spoken word and the rapping that she had. But sometimes it's, for those listening at home and those who have tuned in, it's sad to see that sometimes we are quite judgmental. Something that I've pondered about a lot, and we shouldn't do that, because we can't judge someone as to what we can see, right? We don't know what's going through their head. We don't know. Why do we judge their connection with God? This is what I don't understand. Why is it that we judge people's connection with God?
I think it's natural to make assumptions and connections, and when you see certain things, there's always connotations. But I think the test in that is, what you do with it. Again, if a thought comes into your head, it comes into your head. You can't control that, but it's how you use it. Are you going to use that in a negative way? Are you going to express hate with it? Or are you going to use it as an opportunity to remind yourself of Allah's characteristics? For example, the fact that He is most merciful, the fact that He knows what we don't know. And it's about respecting those facts. And again, and I'm sure you guys will both agree, when we are presenting ourselves on social media, we're only human. We're not, claiming to be the perfect, model, and we're just being ourselves. And no one's perfect. We're always going to have flaws, and there's always going to be people's opinions that differ from ours. But I think it's about accepting and understanding that we are there as human beings, and take from it what you wish, take from it what you like. Otherwise, respect the difference.
Yeah, thank you so much. That's really well said, actually. Thank you. What do you think of that?
I think at the end we should respect everyone. I respect everyone, like, if he's commenting in a negative way or a positive way, or if he's judging, because life nowadays is full of judgments. Everyone likes to interfere in other life, but at the end I believe that every comment someone is writing, he's sitting behind a computer or he's sitting behind a device, and to be honest, he's not going to affect on my life or on my positivity or the things that I have, because trusting in yourself and having self-confidence, especially in social media, if I didn't have the self-confidence, maybe I would not have now 1.2 million on YouTube.
Yeah. Excellent. Yeah. So I want to pose a question. We only got 3 minutes, and I don't know if it's fair on you, but I'm going to quickly say, what influence do you guys want to bring on viewers around the world with what you're doing at the moment? What influence? Because it is making influence,
okay,
right? It's affecting a lot of people. Obviously, what influence do you want to bring?
All three of us will agree with a positive influence.
Yeah.
Everyone probably has a bit different goals. Our goals are mainly, to be honest, entertainment. Influence we want to have, make them go out and be positive, make them have self-confidence, make them believe in themselves, learn things about our viewers are mainly from overseas. We have a few in England, but generally it's about seeing new things that maybe they haven't seen and accepting it. There was once an incident that happened in Huddersfield, and a small Syrian refugee boy was attacked, and everyone was like, oh, you live in England, what's happening, and they're racist towards us and all of that. And we just simply said, look at your hand, not all your fingers are the same. And we said, no, where we are, everything's really good. So it's just about being positive. It's all about positivity and giving them a good influence.
Thank you so much.
I also agree on what he said. I believe that I should bring a beautiful image, because I'm Arabic and Muslim at the same time. I really want to show the world that, we have, as a Muslim girl, a woman, we have a message that we want to show the world, and I hope they'll accept it.
I'll keep it nice and short.
Yeah.
I just want to liberate youth from societal pressures, or anyone for that matter. I just want people to feel confident in making their own decisions and making sure that they feel comfortable to do it with integrity and intention, and not be afraid of doing things which is different to mainstream.
Excellent. Yahya, Sahar, and Malika, thank you so much for coming on the show. Time has flown.
Wow. It was really fast.
Went really cool. So thank you all. All three of you made an impact on today's show, and you really helped me out today in making it successful. Thank you so much. And to all listeners on Facebook and on radio, thank you so much for tuning in. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Bye bye.